All right, what is up, everybody? Welcome into today's edition of In the Game. I am your host, Hustle, and as always, we're going to be diving into the markets. There is some wild news floating out there today, and we're going to go over the biggest news. We're going to talk about CPI data and why is Bitcoin going down, even though inflation came in below expectations. We'll go ahead and talk about that, as well as some huge news. FTX apparently trying to make a comeback in Q2. And then we'll get into the altcoins that I am still eyeing, as I will go over why I think Bitcoin is dipping a bit off this morning's CPI data. Let's go ahead and dive into it. Like the video down below and subscribe to the channel for videos and shows here every single day on Crypto Banter as well. Shout out to our sponsors here on In the Game. Bybit, one of the leading exchanges in all of crypto for all of your trading needs. You can sign up for a Bybit account down below. SIDUS HEROES, one of the leading AAA intergalactic experiences in all of Web3 gaming. Vulcan Forge, one of the absolute top ecosystems, just launched their Elysium blockchain, as well as Vulcan Studios, Metascapes, the all-encompassing platform in Vulcan Forge. NordVPN, always use a VPN when you're navigating through crypto. Never disclose your IP address. NordVPN down below, and sign up for the free trading course in Sniper School down below in the links in the description. Let's go ahead and dive into this wild day. We started the day. U.S. inflation falls to 5%, lower than expectations, and this is good. If you look at the chart for inflation is technically going down by the percentage standpoints, and it's a good thing, right? That's a really good thing for the markets. But let's go ahead and take a look. Why is Bitcoin off of honestly, good CPI data? Why is Bitcoin taking that hit? I think it was priced in. I think that the expectation was right around this number. If you take a look at the falls to 5%, I think the expectation was right at this number. And I think this run up in the market was kind of baking that number in. So once we got those near expectation numbers of CPI, Bitcoin is kind of taking a little bit of a relief from that and is kind of taking a dip. I don't see it as anything to kind of sway the long-term thesis here on Bitcoin. And I actually see a continuation of this rally still up to about 32 to 36K. And as Henry just said, money flows to alts. I think it will be flowing to alts very, very soon. We'll go over those altcoins I'm eyeing here in just a second. And the reason I am eyeing those alts, I do think we are going to hit there. But what is the biggest news of the day, right? We thought CPI was the biggest news of the day in crypto, right? Until just a couple hours ago, this just in that the bankrupt FTX, Sam Bankman-Fried and FTX, has recovered $7.3 billion in assets and is considering relaunching the exchange in Q2. My question is, who the heck would trade on FTX anymore, right? After that entire debacle. But we take a look here. Bankrupt crypto exchange has recovered more than $7.3 billion in both cash and crypto assets, more than $800 million since January, according to the company's attorney at a bankruptcy court hearing taking place today. And it arrives alongside the news that they are considering relaunching the exchange in Q2, said the attorney at Wednesday's U.S. bankruptcy court hearing. So this is some crazy news. And obviously, the FTT token is taking quite a bit of a jump here, up 87% off of this news. I'd like to see thoughts in the comments. Would you ever trade on FTX again? Would you ever put your trust in Sam Bankman-Fried ever again? I think that's a very valid concern. I mean, I don't see any way in heck that I would put any money on that exchange any longer. I'd be interested to see the thoughts in the comment section. And, Your Honor, my client just found 7 billion. Like, don't worry. He just found the 7 billion. I thought this tweet was absolutely hilarious. Yeah, everyone's saying, heck no, they would not be putting that in. FTT equals bonk inu. If you know, you know. That's absolutely hilarious. But what a development here. And I mean, I guess it's, if they actually were to come back into business and somehow be, even my dog was like, FTX, Sam Bankman-Fried, no way. I mean, if they were to make a comeback, I guess it would be good for crypto, right? If they somehow salvage this, but I don't see with the risk management of this company that this is going to go over well. And I doubt that any consumer is going to want to put funds on there ever again. Really interesting development here. I'll be watching this very closely, but the world has gone mad. Yeah, I completely agree. This is crazy, crazy developments. I mean, how do you just find, how do you, I don't know. I don't know. Don't ask me, but we'll see how this plays out. I would never, ever trust my money with Sam Bankman-Fried or FTX ever again, however. But let's get into the meat and the bulk of the show, as we are taking a little bit of a pullback. And did we just hit that top? Did we get the relief and the kind of that downtrend from expected CPI data? I think the latter. I think that CPI data was getting priced into the markets. And I honestly think this is a pretty healthy pullback regarding the markets. I'm very much eyeing the tandem of Polygon and Immutable. Polygon, while not pushing tons of developments at the moment, that only makes me think that they are building out their infrastructure of biz dev and gaming. When you just look at the businesses they're working with, I'm betting on them long-term to be one of the biggest winners in the Web3 space alongside Immutable X. And Immutable X is getting a little bit of positive price action here today, up 3%. And that's off the back of another massive partnership, talking about BizDev here, bringing iLogos Europe game studio over to Immutable. 16 years of experience bringing game titles to life, 1.5 billion game installs for Supercell, Ubisoft, EA, and more. And if you look at their active clients, unreal. They've completed over 460 projects for stuff like Ubisoft, EA, Disney, Zynga. You have WB Games. There's so many name brands here. This is just yet another huge adoption play and another huge acquisition for the BizDev network of Immutable. I think that Immutable X and Polygon are going to be two of the biggest winners when it comes to the blockchain space. I'm really looking at them to succeed long term. I'm seeing a lot of questions in the chat regarding Myria. So I was going to talk about this at the end of the show. Let's go ahead and bring it up now. So Myria will dump more. I will buy it lower. I think so too. I think Myria has a steep fall here as a brand new token. What is Myria? Myria is a crypto gaming layer 2 and gaming studio launcher as well with a marketplace. They're really an all-encompassing gala type of platform, but they do have a lot to prove. The tokenomics could be a lot stronger, and I think there's going to be really big sell pressure from the nodes once those start emitting rewards as well. I think people are going to want to ROI on the expensive node price as well. So this will be interesting to watch. I do think it gets cheaper, but I also do think that this market cap over time is going to prove to be a little undervalued. Just talking about the circulating market cap, I do see a little bit of a pullback to say continuing here with Myria, to be honest, given the node sale, given the emissions of the nodes. That's definitely something I would look to buy cheaper on Myria for sure, as far as long-term accumulations go. Avalanche continues to push more and more developments. And if you look, two of the best shooters and first-person shooter games are coming to Avalanche with Shrapnel, and now you see Gunzilla off the grid aims to shake up the battle royale genre by emphasizing storytelling and digital ownership, allowing players to influence both gameplay and narrative through their in-game decisions. This is really cool. It's actually like an interactive experience. They're building a subnet for their gaming studio right on the Avalanche network. And T. Rowe Price is among a group of Wall Street firms to test drive a new version of the Avalanche blockchain in a renewed push to explore how the technology could make financial transactions more efficient. So this is a really big development. And I saw a good tweet out there. Adoption happens slow, but then adoption also happens all at once, right? So once all these announcements and once all this integration does pile up, it will happen very fast. Those that are here, we've been following along with these trends and following along the entire time. We're going to be ahead of these narratives like crypto gaming, like the top subnets, like the top layer 1 blockchains, layer 2 blockchains, gaming studios, etc. So we've been well ahead of this narrative, and we're very well set up to capitalize on the next cycle and the next bull run with these gaming tokens. And let's talk about the gaming tokens that I'm eyeing. Really big conviction, obviously, on Vulcan Forge. We're going to go over gaming infrastructures here. So studios, distribution platforms. We're going to talk about I would say maybe 1, 2, 3, 4 studios and gaming distribution platforms that I think definitely should be on your list. Vulcan Forge continues to push developments. Updates to the Vulcan DEX are coming. They have the blockchain, which is live and is getting tons of activity. When it rains, it pours. Another milestone for Elysium blockchain. All of the Vulcanverse Vulcanite NFTs have been minted. So I think that is huge. Like, not only is the blockchain live, they are minting on this blockchain very actively. So we are looking at this blockchain powering the Vulcan Forge ecosystem, which has over 114,000 total users in their ecosystem. I think that this is going to be a major winner in the next cycle. And even in this leg up, guys, I think under $4 for Vulcan Forge is going to prove to be so valuable long term. So Vulcan Forge is still high on my list. Avalanche Will Moon has many new projects. I absolutely agree. Very bullish on Avalanche. Gala Games. So Gala Games is seeing a good price increase today. And the cool thing about Gala, despite the hype in the industry, despite the hoopla, this project doing this and this new technology, Gala just keeps their head down. And now Spider Tanks is playable, Town Stars playable, Superior's playable, Walking Dead Empires is playable, Grit is playable, Last Expedition's playable. Like, they actually have some of the most fun, legit, and live products that you could find in the entire space. And the play tests are getting very high sentiment inside the ecosystem. Very bullish on Gala for the long term. And it is getting a good, pretty good push up here regarding the last, obviously, if you go back here, the highs, this was off of their 20 million user acquisition, but we're seeing a trend back upwards here after that news went out. So I am definitely looking at Gala for a little more growth during this run. Arbitrum ecosystem definitely still has my eye. Games are not leaving the platform. Games did not take that DAO proposal negatively. Stuff like Magic with their ecosystem, just like a Gala Games, honestly, inside of the Arbitrum ecosystem. And when you look at the style of games that go into Magic Treasure DAO, that go into Arbitrum, they have these aesthetics, the pixel art, the arcade style for some of these games like Smallverse and the Beacon, which leads me to, stumble upon Rumble is one that has an upcoming free mint and an upcoming token launch. I'm definitely looking out for that, especially off the heels of the Sparta DEX success. I'm really looking at the next plays underneath the Arbitrum ecosystem. This is definitely one I'm looking for. Will Gala go to 0.026? If we hit an extended bear market and the markets collapse again, very possible. You could probably get those prices, but that's a speculation for sure. I think we for sure have seen the bottom of this cycle with Bitcoin. I would say unlikely. I would agree with Miguel. I do think we've seen the short term bottom. Heck no, FTX. Yeah, no way in heck that I would ever trade there ever again. Altura, in my mind, I'll take the chat questions at the end on the altcoins that I don't cover. Veracity, I'm very bullish on. I think Nakamoto Games, for example, has great potential. But let's finish out the altcoins here, and we'll talk about the Q&As in the chat. I think that Altura is the best low cap project in the space. Just today, we see they have fully integrated Polygon ZK EVM into its suite of products and services. So yet again, another powerful collaboration on the Unity asset store. I think Altura is going to be one of the absolute biggest gainers on the other side of this market. And at this market cap, I don't think there's a lot of risk and go ahead and starting those DCAs and taking those bets on Altura for the long term. I love what Senat's doing, sponsor of the show here, SIDUS, but their governance token is at a $3 million market cap. And if you look at everything they're doing, they're launching this $1 million SIDUS pool, join the 2-week challenge for the brand new game mode. They're teasing their brand new shooter on the 13th for this AMA. It's a big AMA inside the ecosystem. So there's going to be a lot of clarity on upcoming game modes, their shooter that they're launching that we talked with Dan on the show a few weeks ago, and $1 million farm for people to get involved with. And if you notice the module economy that he showed on that interview, if not, I would go back and watch that interview. You can take ownership of this ecosystem by just putting tokens up, and you own certain parts of the marketplace. It's a really cool ecosystem, and this is another big development inside of their ecosystem with their shooter coming live, which is supposed to be playable on every single platform. Desktop, doesn't matter. Laptop, desktop, high-level gaming PC, you can play that game on anything, and that's the special part about it. Most games require high-level gaming PCs, whereas SIDUS, their shooter that they're putting out, is going to be accessible on all devices. Now, let's go ahead and take some chat questions here before we wrap it up. Solana target. Yeah, interesting, right? I think Solana, let's go take a look at the Solana chart, up a couple percent today, but if the FTX news was to become super bullish, I could probably see Solana running up with it, because Solana kind of took a hit from the FTX news, right? So if FTX actually made a recovery of some sort, or actually did make these positive developments, I think Solana is due for some relief, personally, just because of how closely tied to FTX it was on its downfall. Near, I'm bullish on long term. Mob. If you're talking about Mobland, I still like Mobland as a product, and I think that the token is going to probably need a little bit of bullish news from the game to be able to run up, in my opinion. Pond, never heard of it. Looks, I'm bearish on Looks. I'm bearish on SOS. I'm bearish on any of those type of products, in my opinion. Short term, those airdrop tokens. Arbitrum has a use case. Arbitrum is a complete game. It's a big time gaming infrastructure. So I'm bullish on Arbitrum long term. But those other types of airdrop tokens, not really in my spectrum. Inbox, it looks pretty good. I'm not interested in the token at this moment in time. However, Quant is going to do really, really well. I think Quant long term is going to be a big winner. Phantasma Soul's still building. Soul might be moving slow, but the team is still building. Materium, is that the Mirandis token, I believe? If that's Mirandis's token, it might do well. I would rather just bet on Gala as a whole, though, to be honest. Nakamoto Games should do well long term. Jewel, interesting. DeFi Kingdoms isn't going to die. There's always going to be those gamified yield junkies, DeFi Kingdoms, Sparta Dex, etc. DeFi Kingdoms is going to be around for a long time. And if they make it to the next cycle, Jewel's probably going to do really well, to be honest. UFO, yeah, meme coin of crypto gaming, in my opinion. And if SHIB and Shiba run, UFO is probably, and crypto gaming takes off and we're in a bull market, UFO is going to do numbers, in my opinion. Ajax, yeah, really good project. Been here since way before the AI wave, one of the OG AI projects. So yeah, Ajax is probably going to do well in the bull market, especially once AI comes more to fruition inside of cryptos, for sure. Veracity, I'm super bullish on Veracity. Imposters, love what Elio is doing. I actually spoke with Elio recently. The developments they have coming are really, really strong. Remark, good project. And if Polkadot and Kusama run, it's going to be right on its tail and probably do multiples of what Polkadot and Kusama do, because it's a smaller cap. Wilder World, best looking metaverse project out there. Still bullish on WASDR. Absolutely, I'm bullish on WASDR. I think it's going to take that altcoin trickle down for WASDR to make moves. But yeah, I'm very bullish on WASDR. Gods Unchained, just like I said with DeFi Kingdoms, I think Gods Unchained is in a niche that it's never going to die. Trading card games, like Hearthstone and those types of games in Web 2, they're OGs and they've been around for a long time. I think Gods Unchained is that type of a project. I think Gods is here to stay. Network, not very bullish at this moment in time. Illuvium, great. Great project, great team. They're going to make it to the other side for sure. Kusama still 95% down, as is most projects, right? If 𝗏𝗏𝗄𝗏 and 𝘂𝗏 have that narrative again, I think Remark's a really good play. RMRK. Hex. I mean, Richard's done some crazy things, you know. Hex has definitely been a good product so far. I think Pulse Chain's what people are looking forward to there. Not really my niche though. I don't have too many opinions on Hex, to be honest. Veracity tokenomics are trash. So that fully diluted market cap, a lot of that's never going to be put into circulation. So if that's what you're referring to, I would just read the documents a bit more, because a lot of that supply is never going to hit, you know, the circulating market cap. Miguel, it's fine. There's always going to be trolls. What about Pulse? I mean, yeah, like not really. PulseX, not really my niche. Probably is going to do well. Probably is going to do really well. The Hex community is so loyal. I don't see that failing, to be honest. Myria next gala, we'll see. Monkey Ball, the you know, the app, the test app just came out. It looks pretty good. I wish it was a little more active on the gameplay rather than like turn-based style, but I think it looks good. Sand, not as bullish as stuff like Wilder World, in my opinion. I think Sandbox is a very basic product, and I think that Wilder World has way more potential as far as experience levels go. I would take, you know, I would take Wild. He is scripted. I am not scripted. I say exactly what I want to say. ICP, not really interested. What about Sin City? I'm still bullish on Mobland. I mean, Mobland's going to do well long term. And whenever the actual game and product comes out, that's going to be the moment in time that people are looking ahead for. Is Myria the next gala? We're going to need years to see that. No, that's going to take years to play out. All right, guys, I'm going to hop out of here. Like the video if you enjoy the show, and subscribe down below for shows here every single day on Crypto Banter. I will be back tomorrow with a special interview here on the channel and super chat coming through. So I'll answer this. $4.99. Thank you so much, Bilal, for the $4.99 super chat. What's your prediction on Shiba? It's gonna Shiba's gonna do really well. I mean, Dogecoin and Shiba. I said it on the last show. It's funny how crypto works. That when you look at, you know, products that are really solid, I mean, Shiba and Doge are probably going to outperform those. That's the crazy part. I mean, Shiba and Doge are probably going to pump harder than any other tokens in the bull run. So, yeah, they'll definitely do digits in the next cycle, in my opinion. All right, guys, like the video, subscribe down below. I'll be back tomorrow with a major interview, actually with Myria. So that should be really spicy. I think that's going to, you know, cause some good conversation, and the chat will definitely get some questions from the chat. I've seen Myria is the gala. Myria isn't the gala today. So this is going to be a fun one. Tune in tomorrow. We're going to have Brendan from Myria on the show, and that's going to be a good one. I will see you guys then. As always, play well, my friends.